have to move on. As artists, as creators, it is our job to push the art forward. There's a voice in your head that is your conditioning. Pull that out, set it aside for your next project, and just see what happens. See what you sound like. And have the courage to follow that sound and develop that sound, and that is who you are.
What is that sound, you ask?
From the number one station, you come.
Welcome to the Rec Show Podcast, a show dedicated to beatmakers around the world. Kick back, relax with the host, Gldnmnd.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the
What's good? What's up, everybody? Gldnmnd here, and welcome back to the Rec Show Podcast, man. Yo, if this is your first time, welcome, man. If you're coming back for repeat times, man, welcome back, man. Yo, welcome. Yo, I hope everybody's having an amazing weekend, had a great week. I know it was a little busy for me. I'm a little tired, but I'm gonna keep it moving because that's what we do. You feel me? Yo, the person you heard at the beginning, man, is a producer by the name of Justin Holt, man, from the Pink Lady Apple House, man. He had a good point about, just being weird and trying different things and then not judging what comes out, man. Just make the music that is for you, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate Justin Holt from the Pink Lady Apple House, man. And right now you are listening to Dbl-A, all right? A question called Dbl-A. That's track number 1, man. IFKGJS. I don't even know what that means, but I'm gonna figure it out, man. So shout out to Dbl-A, man. Yo, I've been loving Dbl-A for like, man, it must be like 4 or 5 years too. So I had to have him, at least one of his beats on the show, you know what I mean? So, yo, let's get into the nitty gritty today, man. Yo, so hope everybody's counting their blessings and not their problems, man. Let me introduce today's guest. Today's guest has released 19 projects since 2018, mostly beat tapes and instrumentals, but also produced a few vocal albums with other artists. K9's Volume 1, Sweet Melodies and Dinner Jackets, Hoarders Volume 1. He also is in a band with the rapper Tone Crony, who's amazing. And he has a group called Acronym with 2 A's, @_acronym if you want to check that out. But other than that, yo, he also has 2 tracks, all right, 2 big placements on the new Chris Crack album, man. It's called Growthfully Developed. He produced track number 3 and 13. Therapy Don't Work, Try Drugs, and then Beer Just Bread in a Can, man. So, yo, man, my man's been doing this thing, man. I had to have him on the show. He graciously said yes. And yeah, man, we're gonna hear about him. We're gonna hear about his music and his journey. And yeah, man, we're gonna vibe out, man. So smoke him if you got him. Play this while you're you're commuting, while you're driving. You know what I mean? Kick back, relax. I want y'all to welcome the one and only Dbl-A, Dbl-A, man. Look him up, all his socials, man. We'll be back, man. Yeah, welcome to the show, man. Peace and love, yo.
Yo, what's good, fam? This is Dbl-A, aka Beats by A. Just want to let you know you're plugged into the Rec Show Podcast with Gldnmnd. Keep it locked.
All that I want.
I literally had to go like Thanos.
You are my guide. My light, my blood to mend.
Yeah, man. Yo, we back with Dbl-A, man. We listening to Respectfully. You know what I mean? Respectfully, man. And the track before that was Had to Go Thanos. And right now you're listening to Respectfully off the Respectfully album. So, yo, first of all, welcome to the show. Dbl-A. I have to ask this question for beatheads or the internets. You know what I mean? It's time to wake up, yo. Please introduce yourself, you know, where you're from, what your name is, and, you know, how your name was created and any associated collectives, man.
What's good? This is Dbl-A. I'm from Houston, Texas. Actually, originally from New York City, Long Island and Queens areas. And the meaning of my name, Dbl-A, actually is just a play on my first and last name. My governments are A and A, my first and last name, initials. So I just turned it into Dbl-A because that's something people have always called me and referred to me as. So it just felt like a great artist name. As far as like collectives, I have a band, me and an artist, Tone Crony. He's a rapper, MC, just all around amazing artist. I do all the beats and production and all that, and he does all the raps and stuff and all the vocals. So our group is called Acronym, so that's like my associated collective.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave the links in the description of the show, of course, to the groups and everything like that. But yo, let's get into it, man. So how did you begin your journey into music and sampling?
Damn, that is such a good question. I'd have to say just like being inspired by like what I was listening to in high school and like growing up and being kind of like naive to the whole game, you know, like you actually take an old record, like a forgotten part, you know, loop it, chop it, do whatever you have to do, and turns into a whole new record, a whole new idea, you know? So that concept just completely flipped my wig. I didn't get it, you know, but I knew that I wanted to, you know, just get into it more and try to understand it and learn it. And just the whole culture of like, you know, taking old music and repurposing it and making it a brand new idea just completely blew my head off my shoulders. So, and I would definitely say it was just, you know, being inspired by what my friends were listening to. I think, you know, especially in the formative years, like high school, you know, that's a huge, you know, point of like what you listen to is like what your friends are putting you on. So, you know, coming up in New York, you know, everything was, you know, heavy East Coast, you know, ton of Nas, you know, Hove, of course, you know, Sean Price. I mean, we just listened to so much stuff, you know, but when I was like 16, 17, that's when College Dropout came out, and Kanye wasn't like super famous yet, but my bro was already on him because I think he had an older brother that was, you know, buying CDs and stuff. So they bought College Dropout at the airport, and man, I tell you, we listened to that album every day after school for months, just playing Madden, you know, running it back, you know. And I think just for us, like, you know, we didn't know music production wise what they're doing. We weren't even thinking that far, but we were just like so flipped out over like, damn, we know these are old records and they're completely like new beats and just like new songs. So just like that kind of got me started and made me want to like investigate further and just like learn the craft, you know. And I feel like around that time I was almost going to college, so I, you know, was begging my parents to get me like a basic MacBook that I could, you know, learn GarageBand on. And, you know, I was just super flipped out over it. I wanted to learn as much as I could.
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out to your parents for getting you that. And yo, College Dropout was an amazing piece of work, man. That's a classic joint, man. I think I got that in my vinyl collection. But yeah, man. So okay, so who in your family put you on to certain types of music? And I mean, what type of music? What type of music was it?
Man, as far as like my family putting me on and stuff, like I really didn't get like too much of a, you know, an awakening from that regard. I mean, like coming up, my parents listened to like a lot of like kind of like smooth jazz and stuff like that, and like, you know, stuff that like kind of knocks now, like in retrospect, but like coming up, like, you know, I was listening to stuff like that. So, you know, I wouldn't even say like my parents really put me on to stuff. Really, it was really my friends for sure.
Okay, friends putting other friends on. That's what we do here in this show, man. So, okay, so what's one moment that sparked your interest into creating your own beats? And, you know, when did you know if it was time to let the internets hear your beats, you know, because there's some people that's sitting on beats that are fucking flames, and they are like, just I don't know if it's time, you know.
Yeah, that's a great question. The moment, probably, sometime when I was younger, in the high school days, like just hearing beats and hearing music, like, just like I said, everything we'd been listening to growing up, and being like, yo, how did they put that old, like, that old Rick James record in there? Like, how did they do that? Stuff like that. Like, you could pinpoint an old record that was huge, and then it would still confuse you to be like, how did they make it like this, So I think just like that general curiosity of just loving the shit, just like loving the music and so much. But, man, I would say I figured it was time to kind of release my stuff when I felt confident in just like my mixes and stuff. Like I feel like any artist, producer, what have you, just goes through like years and years of just like throwing shit against the wall, just kind of hoping something's going to stick and just trying to find your formula, like what works for you. So I'd say about like 2017, I've been cooking up for a while, really not much networking, just doing my own thing in my own, house and all that. No one knew who I was. I would say about like 2017, I started putting stuff out, and, was starting to feel like confident in my mixes. And then, once I hit the point where I was like really feeling good about my stuff, I just started running with it and dropping mad. And, my releasing kind of picked up and caught up to my cooking up. So
we share the code. You gotta share the codes. If you want to see the culture do well, that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to see the culture do well. They want to do well as individuals. They don't realize the door was held open for them. They were welcomed in. You know what I'm saying? And for me, if you're not gonna hold the door open, then you better be telling me that it's your aim to knock down the wall.
Potential, or is it, is it as great as the work that you idolize?
The things we plan, the things we plan, the places we went, the things we plan. The things we plan.
Yeah, man. So what it comes down to is confidence in your music. I feel that, man. Confidence in your music. So if you confident, just put it out, man. You never know. You just never know who's gonna vibe to it, man. So, you know what I mean? That's a dope way to think about that, man. That's why I asked that question, man. Just because you just never know, man. Like, you just never know. All right, so that brings me to my next question, which is, can you name one beat that comes to mind as the greatest of all time beat? And then name, like, who created that beat as well,
Hey, this is definitely like an all-time question. And I feel like this question could start like a blog, you know what I mean? It's just that It's that intense. And I feel like if you ask like anybody really into it, their favorite beat, like the GOAT beat, would change every month or every year, and that's just how it goes. It's like you go through like your cycles, but damn, I had to list a couple of them, and again they change, but top of my head, greatest beats of all time, oh my goodness, it's just crazy even saying it. One of the first came to mind was Premier, New York State of Mind, Nas. That's up there for me. Shook Ones, Havoc, of course, that's up there. Heart of the City, Ye on the Blueprint, like that's a timeless record. That's one of the best beats of all time, and on some nerdy shit that's like made with like 3 or 4 sounds, so that shit's crazy to me. But I probably have to say at the end of the day, it's got to be something Dilla did, and I kept going back to Fantastic 2 a lot. I wrote a couple of them down, actually, like Eyes Up, Get This Money, Konya Gardens, but like aside from that, I think my favorite beat of all time, like the greatest beat of all time to me, is Players, Dilla. I just think that's the one. Honorable mention for Dilla is Running, Farside. So yeah, that'd be kind of my picks. I couldn't just pick one.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so I had to include that, man. That's a dope track, man. All dope tracks that you named, man. All dope, man. So, listen, that brings me to my next question, which is, can you recommend some must-see, read, or listen to content from listeners on New Jersey and beats and music? It can be like a podcast, YouTube tutorial, book, documentary, any of that, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I know... like part of my journey too coming up is like, you always find like this group of content and like videos and articles and stuff and like things you always go back to, like even as you progress, like, like what was I reading back then? Like what did I learn back then? I'd say some of the best like must see, read, listen type things, content, all that for beats. My first 2 recommendations would be check out these Dilla documentaries on YouTube. One of them is called J Dilla Still Shining documentary. Unbelievable. I've watched that several times over the years, and I keep coming back to that one. It's like 40 minutes, but it's definitely worth taking a look if you're a hip-hop fan, if you're a Dilla fan for sure. A lot of, his collaborators and, his friends and stuff, and like a lot of people he was working with around the time, they're all like involved with the, with interviews and stuff. So that's a must check out. Also with Dilla, there's another documentary on YouTube called J Dilla documentary, and then in parentheses Soul Dad. That one's a must check out. It's like 30 minutes, really dope. As far as like reading, I still actually go back to these. Fader has like a series out called Beat Construction, I think it's called, and they do like they used to do like interviews with a bunch of like beat makers and producers and kind of just getting their background, kind of like what you're doing here. Letting these guys tell their story and stuff. So that was super dope. I would check that out. Beat Construction on fader.com. And then just like, if you have HBO Max or anything like that, one of my favorite documentaries ever is the Defiant Ones, talking about Dre and Jimmy Iovine and just like how they had such different paths, but, obviously, did so many different things together and really came up. That shit is incredible to me. I've watched that probably a couple times a year. That's like my inspiration juice when I need it. So Defiant Ones on HBO for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the Defiant Ones, The Shining. I watched all of these, man. And all of them gave me a different inspiration to create and just be who I'm going to be. You know what I mean? Without any inhibitions. I guess that's the word for it. But yeah, I'm gonna put all the links in the description to everything you recommended in the bottom of the show. So don't worry, man. I'm gonna get you all that information, yo. Okay, so that brings me next. From your social media content, you use videos to match your tracks, which amazing, man. Which is like they definitely make them stand out even more. But other than a Kai MPC, you know, what other musical instrument DAWs do you use to craft beats? You know, and which piece is the most important to you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got the Kai MPC 500. Appreciate that research, by the way. That's official of you. Yeah, that's the MPC 500. It's like the first piece of gear I started like learning on a bunch of years ago. My homie sold it to me. And yeah, it was just like, for me, it was just such a good way to kind of go back to the basics without really knowing much. Just kind of like, this is where, you know, a lot of the greats started, you know, just like a machine, you know, an analog machine with limited capabilities, you know. And it's not the gear, it's the ear, you know, and it's just what you do with it. So that shit was such a great learning experience for me, because it really taught me to just work with sound selection, you know. Not trying to take a kick and mix it into something it's not, but taking a kick and using it because it sounds a certain way, you know? So just shit like that, like, really helped me kind of form a process. You know, I still use it here and there, but, you know, I've kind of graduated on, you know, last several years, I'm like fully in Ableton Live, you know, cooking up everything in that. So, yeah, that's like my go-to right now, Ableton Live. I do, and like I said, I still have the 500. But yeah, I'm pretty bare bones with my setup. I use very few plugins, if any, sometimes. And yeah, I mean, you know, I'm looking at my desk right now. I have like a MIDI keyboard and like a MIDI, you know, controller with 16 pads, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, I'm really using, you know, Ableton, you know, really to kind of chop the way like we used to do on an MPC. So that's what I try to do. I tell people that I approach when I'm cooking up, even in a DAW, the way I would approach it on a machine. No different.
Yeah, man. Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. Yo, everybody, all the listeners, man, we listening to Respectfully, man. That's one of his newest beat tapes, one of his new instrumental albums that he put out. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, gave my life meaning. The way you chop that sample up, man. Yo, it be bringing like goosebumps to my, you know what I mean? That's a goosebumpy moment, you know what I mean? But yo, man, crazy, yo. Let me ask you this, man. I think you have a family. I seen kids on your profile, man. So how do you manage your family obligations with creating music? And do you have any tips for beat makers with families?
Yeah, this is a great question, bro. Man, I would say it just comes down to one simple word, and that is structure. Because, man, there isn't enough time of the day. You know, we're always like, damn, I wish there was more hours in the day. There's not enough time. Well, it just comes down to like making that time, you know, and being consistent with it. You know, for me in particular, you know, I have a wife, I have a baby, you know, a 16-month-old. I have a 9 to 5. You know, I got a lot of responsibilities, but I make sure that I get my music in, because that's my other job, you know, and that's kind of how I treat it. You know, I never take anything too seriously, but I treat myself like a professional, and I try to move like that as well. So, yeah, I would just say structure is number one. Using every minute in the day and planning your days out is huge, you know, so that you know, X time of the day I'm doing this, X time of the day I'm doing that. And then you can kind of like, as you go, you know, formulate like, all right, I'm going to work out instead now. You know, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write some bars later. I'm going to, you know, cook this beat up. I'm going to chop this sample. So it's just finding that structure and using your time by working as smart as you can.
Structure, planning, making time for what's important to you, man. I understand, man, because I got, 2 babies, 2 girls and my wife, and then my son is back in California. So, I understand, trying to make time and do what you love at the same time, but also keep your obligations as a man. Or as a woman, if anybody else, all the women that are listening to this show, shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? But let's keep it moving, man. So, you recently released your newest album that everybody's listening to right now, which is called Respectfully. And then earlier, before you were released Killing Them Softly. Can you tell us how these instrumental albums came together, and then what were your muses or your inspirations when you created them? Because the sample selection and chops, amazing, you know what I mean? So, and also, can you tell us how best to listen to these pieces of music?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I appreciate that. I just released, I've released 2 instrumental projects since January of this year. Like you had said, the first one was Killing Them Softly, which dropped like the first week of January 2022. And then Respectfully, which I put out like a month ago. Both available on all platforms, anywhere you stream music, Bandcamp, Audius, etc. But yeah, shit, man. Basically, as I'm going throughout my journey, making art, networking, connecting with artists and all that, one thing I'm always doing is just putting out my own music, and because I kind of treat myself like a standalone artist, I'm not just like a beat maker. I'm not even just a producer. Like, I consider myself like a standalone, like a Nick Craven, Alchemist, type, where people would just want to throw on their beats and listen to that. So that's kind of how I kind of move and want to formulate my path. But I'm always just looking to drop music because I'm always making it. So I just, in my point of view, it's like, why am I just gonna let this shit sit on my hard drive, So it enabled me to just like start putting out tapes and building up my artist name in that regard. And I would just say, like, the inspiration, it changes month to month. It's like, what am I listening to this month? So, I feel like in December of last year when I was cooking these up, I was listening to a lot of jazz, a lot of soul, a lot of gospel stuff, just like a lot of, I love stuff with like a feeling that's really, really dirty, really like dusty and shit like that. So, I was listening to a lot of stuff like that. I'm always inspired by like the East Coast. So anything that gives me that feeling of being back home, I'm usually really attracted to something like that. So yeah, I would say like when I was making those joints, like a lot of loops, really just focusing on like what sounds good, so if this 4-bar loop sounds dope, I'm gonna rock that, something like that. So really I just use these tapes to kind of demonstrate my different styles and just have fun with it. So yeah, I appreciate that, bro. The sample selection was ill. And like I said, I just, I'm really just looking to like chop something up and make it like have it give you that same feeling when you heard it, like, oh, I got to do something with that, but with your spin. So yeah. And both those albums, you can get anywhere, like I said, all platforms.
Yeah, man. Yo, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to his Bandcamp and his link tree, all that type of stuff, man. So, right now you're listening to Killing Them Softly, the full mix edition, man, which you can get on Bandcamp as well, man. Support, man. I keep telling y'all, man, when y'all support, y'all basically telling the beat maker or the artist, make more, please make more. That's what we telling them, yo. Make more, man. All right. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yo. So, now we're gonna get into like the history of this thing, man. You know what I mean? So, the 4 pillars of hip hop are DJing, MCing, breaking, and graphing. Which element did you begin your journey with, and then how did it affect your life when you discovered it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Of those pillars, it was definitely MCing. That was probably the first thing I did was want to write some bars, to a hot beat. So yeah, I definitely started off MCing. Me and my friends, we'd mess around with stuff like that. But yeah, that would be my introduction. Besides loving the music, like when I fell in love with the music, like my first thought was like, let me see if I could spit bars. Yeah, for sure. That's funny.
Yeah. I know everybody's got a beginning, man. So I just kind of like, you know what I mean, for people that are going to listen to this in the future, you know what I mean? Like, yo, there is a culture. This is a culture. Respect the culture, but also, you know what I mean? Give a little bit of background so people can go digging, you know what I mean? Because if they don't understand, like, what I just described as far as the pillars of hip-hop and stuff like that, man. So shout out to you, man. MCing, yo, go ahead, man. So, yo, this is a new game I created called, Superheroes. It ain't new no more. You play it by name of your childhood, teenager, and adult DJ, beatmaker, or music producer superheroes. And then go ahead and tell us like why they were so important at those specific times in your life. Major key alert, no genres off limits, all right?
Yeah, man, this is an amazing question. I've been definitely trying to work on this one. You know, who were my superheroes and stuff at like these different phases. So I would say like my superhero when I was a child, like in my childhood, in the music stuff was Dre. Definitely Dr. Dre. You know, we were bumping 2001 a lot. You know, when I was in high school, that was like, I don't think I was playing anything else. You know, it was really a lot of that. So, yeah, Dre, I would say for sure when, you know, childhood, kind of like middle school, high school years, you know, as a teenager, same time period, but as I got a little bit older, you know, Kanye for sure. And that's really what put me over the top. I was like, whatever he was doing was just completely fucking me up. And I knew, yeah, I gotta do that. You know, so Kanye, but also Alchemist, a lot of Alchemist. I was really, really loving Alchemist. Like, you know, his early 2000 sound, you know, was when I was kind of like coming up, you know, as a kid, teenager and stuff. So, and then now as an adult, definitely as I've gotten into the game, Dbl-A, Madlib, of course, Alchemist too, Knowledge, you know, Premier. I mean, you know, this list could go on forever, you know. I mean, Ninth Wonder. There's just so many dope, you know, artists and producers. But yeah, so I would say growing up, Dre. You know, as I'm a little bit older, growing up, Kanye, Al, Premier, and then, you know, as I'm an adult, gotten in the game, Dbl-A, Madlib, Alchemist, Knowledge, yeah.
Dope list, dope beat makers, loop makers, you know, music producers, like all of that, man. Yo, so shout out to you, man. Yo, can you tell me like what 7-6 Records and Tapes is? And you know, because you know, doing the research, that is popping up. And, you know, who are the artists associated with it? You know, and then also like, what is your goal with your beats?
Yeah, 7-6 Record and Tapes. That's my label imprint, if you will. You know, eventually that's what I plan to sign artists to. That's where I put all my music out of, all through that label, that distribution. So that's the name. That's the one right there, 7-6 Record and Tapes. Yeah, kind of a backstory. I'm a big tennis fan, and when you win a tiebreak in tennis in a set, you win the score. You win the set. The score is 7-6. So basically, it just kind of always stuck with me. It's like, yeah, you're in a battle, you know, head to head. Something's got to give. You know, who's going to come out on top? And the winner of that set is the winner 7-6. So I always stuck with me and always ran with that. It's something I got tatted on me. So yeah, 7-6 Records, that's the label, man. I don't have anyone like assigned to it, but assigned to me yet. But you know, that's the goal eventually. One day is be able to sign artists and you know, help them out with their with their stuff. So yeah, I would say my goal with my beats, like I said, so many different goals. Number one, you know, want to grow myself as a branded artist, as a standalone artist, as you know, someone who's not just a producer, but you know, like I said, their own kind of thing. That's my goal. And then really just to you know, align with people who are like-minded, who are passionate, who are hungry, who love this shit, and, you know, who want to make this like their life, you know, who want to make this a career and go out and be doing this for money, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't touch it again. You know, it wouldn't be something I could continue to do if I didn't love it. So, you know, I think for me, at the end of the day, I just want to be doing this for a living. I want to be able to wake up every day and make music, and that's, you know, how I'm feeding my family, you know, how I'm eating. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, that passion, that just having passion for it, man. You're like if it's a job and you feel like, oh, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta go into this. Oh, I gotta get up and make beats. Oh my god, you stop doing it, man. You already lost something into it, man. So yeah, shout out to you, man. Dope perspective, man. Yo, you live in Houston, right? But you're from New York, or vice versa. What is the beat scene like, and how can others support you or, you know, other artists in the area?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I'm living in Houston right now, but I'm originally from New York, like you had said. You know, born and bred East Coast New Yorker through and through for sure. I've been down here for 8 years, and you know, I really tell people that, you know, moving helped me kind of like spread my wings as far as just like getting back into stuff. You know, really taking off with my music just by really just taking a move. I don't really know the beat scene down here that well. Honestly, I've been kind of like a lone wolf a little bit. I do have a bunch of close collaborators and friends, though, that I've been networking with over the years. You know, you guys know who you are. Shout out to you. I love you guys. But yeah, the beat scene in New York, super iconic. You know, it's crazy shit. You know, so many dope artists and producers. You know, I would say New York's like one of the top beat scenes in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm definitely trying to highlight is, you know, like a lot of people that I've interviewed so far, man, have been born in one place, they move to a different place, and they see a whole different perspective, and they can appreciate both, you know, places that they've lived and are living when it comes to making music and the artistic side of things and stuff like that, man. So yeah, yo, I gotta ask this question, man. You know what I mean? Keep it all the way a being, yo. And if you don't know, like, you know, it's cool. I'm just trying to get everybody. How do you say this, man? I'm trying to get everybody in the minds. Like, things are changing, man. So things are evolving. How do you think beat makers can benefit from emerging tech? You know, for example, like Web3 is a big thing right now. Cryptocurrency, blockchain. Like, how do you think you know, that's going to affect your beat makers, music producers, artists as well?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. I know there's a lot of, you know, back and forth on social media, and you know, there's a lot of polarizing opinions on stuff like this. But my opinion on like Web3 and, you know, cryptocurrency and all, blockchain and all that, I do feel that it is going to be very beneficial for an artist of any type, you know, graphic designer, painter, rapper, producer, what have you, go down the list. Any type of platform that enables you to take the control back, that is the benefit. That's the power. You know, that's, you know, when you peel back the layer and you're like, okay, it does seem kind of goofy that people are buying pictures of monkeys for $300,000. You know, when you peel back the layer, there is so much positivity in what this could be. And I think it will take time, you know, and I think just like anything, you got your scammers and your pocket watchers and people who are just trying to like make a quick buck and water it down and dilute it for everybody else, you know? So, but at the end of the day, this type of thing could give 100% power to the artist, and that is something I fully believe in. So yeah, I think good things are coming with something like this.
You and me. 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 You and you and me. You and you and me. You and you and me.
You and me, 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 you and me.
So, as we round this home, man, take it home, what should the internets look out for from Dbl-A and the rest of 2022? How can the internets tap into you, your music? You know what I mean? Plug it. Go ahead, plug your social your projects, your socials. And any final words as well that you want to plug to the people. So this is your time, baby.
Shit, yeah, bro. A lot of good stuff coming. A lot of projects from me. I'm gonna be working with a lot more of my close collaborators on like vocal stuff. So I'll be producing like full projects for people that I work with, like Tone Crony, Kenny Shane. Yeah, I got 2 full-length albums coming with both those guys this year. Like I said, Tone Crony is actually half of my band, Acronym. We put out a project late last year actually, and we're gonna be dropping the follow-up in probably a few weeks. So I got that coming. I got a vocal album, like I said, with my boy Kenny Shane, who's from New York. We got some real fire shit coming. If you're like an East Coaster, like New Yorker, Yankee fan, loves soulful, like hip hop, like all that shit, you're gonna love this project. And then yeah, man, I got a lot more placements in the tuck coming. I just had a couple on Chris Crack's new album, Growthfully Developed. I'm really excited about. That shit's been incredible, and we got some more work in the tuck. So yeah, look for more placements. Look for more Dbl-A beats to be popping up on albums. And then for me as a standalone, you're gonna just see tape after tape dropping this year. I got some surprises too, so I might be surprising people with some stuff coming soon. Maybe a little Dbl-A vocal album. So yeah, keep it locked. I got a lot of cool stuff coming, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, bruh. So y'all stay tuned to Dbl-A, man. This is his first podcast, man. So I'm honored to be the first podcast that you've done, and hopefully we're gonna continue this and grow, and all this. Take this to another stratosphere, man. I was hearing your music, and I was like, just the way you chopping these, I was like, man, I gotta ask, man. That's how I'll be like asking. Like, I just be on Bandcamp, just randomly looking up music and doing a whole bunch of like just research, and I'm like, these artists are like dope, man. Like, people need to hear these. Let me ask, man. Let me just shoot a message on Twitter. Let me shoot a message on Instagram. Let me shoot a message to their email or something like that, and then And some say yes, some say no, man. But yo, I'm honored, man, that you said yes. So thank you to your family for allowing you the time to actually do this. And yo, hopefully you enjoy this, man. Yo, and yeah, man. So yo, y'all listening to Dbl-A right now. You're listening to Gldnmnd Softly, which is available. I'm gonna leave the link in the description on Bandcamp and everywhere else, man. So yeah, man. Give it up one time for Dbl-A, man. And yo, y'all hope y'all have a good weekend, man. This is the end of the show. And don't forget what was played in the beginning, man. Make your music, make it as weird as possible, because ain't nobody gonna do it like you, alright? And yeah, we're gonna listen to the rest of this Gldnmnd Softly mix edition, man. And I will see y'all on another weekend, man. Inshallah. You feel me? Y'all have a good weekend, man. Stay blessed. You know, still wash them hands. Still wash them hands, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family, man. Take care of your chicken. And I'll see y'all next week, man. Peace and love, yo. Bye, 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 bye.
Maybe they'll be there at the end of springtime. Maybe they'll be there. They'll be high, you inside. Maybe 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 they'll be high. Maybe they'll be high, you inside. Maybe they'll be high, you inside.
Assassin, and you're checking out the Rec Show podcast with Gldnmnd.
There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. Please pack your bag, turn in your key. I know it would help me. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. Please pack your bag, turn in your key. I know it would help me. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. There's no answer when I try to defend myself. Please pack your bag, turn in your key. I know it would help me. Am I just being unfair the way you were to me? If you don't love me, if you don't love me, always leave. You can always leave. If you don't love me, if you don't love me, always love me, always leave. If you don't love me.
What's up, y'all? This is Wave Groove from Beat Cinema, and you're plugged into the Rec Show podcast with Gldnmnd.
This is Sleepless in Flatland, and you're plugged into the Rec Show podcast with Gldnmnd.
What's up? This is U4. You're checking out the Rec Show with Gldnmnd.
Yeah, bitch. You know what the fuck this shit is, man. Cutter, what up?
Dbl-A.
Cause I say so. We just tryna get it, bring the guac, I got the queso. I ain't pushing shit, but you know I'm in my play clothes. Hit it with some bass quotes, I'm still bumping Space Ghost. Purple in my joint while I go on. I ain't gotta say it, so my point strong. Household was stable before we had cable. Never finna label you. I just gotta get this nut off, cause I ain't paid for two. Dick longer than Sabretooth. Mike's was baby blue, yeah, they hate the truth. Don't let them save you for later. And I wish it was a vaccine for all of this hating. Bitch, I'm raping your pockets. I ain't gon' stay for the profit. Stop it.
You can't even get nothing. You go to a girl's house 3 o'clock in the morning. Little boy's still up, ain't it? Drinking coffee and taking noodles. Start looking at your ass. Hey. Look at your ass. Talking about, can't hang, huh? You be young, can't hang, huh, bro? Damn right I can't hang. You ought to be in bed. Little fucker.
These lights represent every living person on the planet. The white lights are humans. And these are the mutants.
they tell like younger kids or other producers like that's cheating, you can't really accept it. But bro, like when it comes to this producing shit, you can do whatever you want.
You've been listening to the Rec Show podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Remember 3 things. Believe in your music. Take care of your mentals. Become the best version of yourself. Until the next one, Gldnmnd signing off. Peace and love, yo.
To be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to